linebacker Barrett Carter. Y'all fire away with questions whenever you're ready.
Barrett Carter from CUTigers.com. Last year was a rough game up at Notre Dame, almost a year ago to the day. They were just a more physical team that night. What do you remember about that game? And is that much of a sticking point with y'all?
Yeah, it definitely is a sticking point. You know, they physically dominated us, just like you said. So, you know, we had to watch that tape and figure out what we did wrong and make sure that we don't make those same mistakes this Saturday. But you know that they're a really complete team across the board. Great. Yeah, like I said, great across the board. So we got to bring our A game. You know, attack this game the same way we attack every single game. But especially when you're playing a physical downhill team such as Notre Dame, like you have to bring your big boy pass. So you know, looking forward just to getting back out and competing and you know showing that you know we're able to compete with a team such as Notre Dame. But you know, definitely just looking forward to the opportunity.
What did they do specifically that just sort of allowed them to just run the football the way they did on y'all last year?
Yeah, we didn't. Honestly, we didn't show up like we should have. I wouldn't even say there was so much something that they did. We didn't show up and play like we should have, and we realized that after the game, and we didn't play like we should have that game. But I wouldn't say it was anything so much that they were doing that threw us off guard. But we just didn't show up and play physical like we should have that game.
You not just expected them to be that physical? What do you mean by you guys didn't show up like you should?
Yeah, I don't really know what didn't resonate that night, but we knew that it was going to be a physical game, and we prepared for that all week. And I think we were coming off, if I'm not mistaken, we were coming off a bye week. So, yeah, we had 2 weeks to prepare for them. So we knew it was going to be a physical game. And, yeah, like I said, I don't really know what didn't resonate with us, but, you know, we just didn't show up and play like we should have that game.
When you're coming off a bye, is there anything to, like, I know a lot of teams, especially defensively, like, they'll miss tackles. I mean, is there anything to that, just not having that game intensity for 2 weeks?
I mean, if you attack every single day of practice like you have a game that week, it shouldn't matter whether you're playing on Saturday or not. So I think that was like a really great week of practice that we had last year leading up to the game. So like we just didn't show up on Saturday like we should have. So, but no, when you have a bye week, as long as you attack, as long as you have the mindset that you're going to play or that you're going to practice the same way, if you have a game or not, you should be fine. So. But yeah, we didn't show up like we should have when we played them last year.
What's it like in these moments, you know, Dabo has his viral moments and all of that. What's it like to see your coach going to bat for you guys like that? And what's it mean to hear him continue to just kind of take that stuff on head on and be willing to be the person to take it, to wear it?
Yeah, yeah. With Coach Swinney doing that, it's hard for me because like. I love Coach Swinney, and I appreciate him doing that. But, like, for me, being the competitor that I am and never wanting to lose anything that I'm doing, whether that's playing football, playing video games, whatever it is, I'm a competitor. So with him doing that, you know, it's cool to see. But, like, at the same time, like, it also just kind of, like, lights a fire inside of me and just makes sure, like, yeah, you don't want your coach staff to, like, stick up for you and you know, take the blame for anything like that, because I feel like it's also on us players to go out there and execute whatever is being called or whatever. So, you know, I think it's great that Coach Swinney does that, but at the same time, it also like lights a fire inside of me and wants me to like even like go harder for the guys and just make sure that we don't want our coach to have to step in and say, well, here's this and here's that. Like it's on us to, you know, line up and dominate the person in front of us. So. You know, it's great that Coach Swinney does that, but at the same time, I don't want him to have to ever do that again.
He tells us all the time in here that winning is really hard, but losing can be even harder on a football team. Emotionally, from a totally different perspective, how are you guys as a team trying and continuing every day to stay united? Because being accountable and holding each other accountable, like those are fine lines to walk within the walls of a football program. How are you guys, and is there any extra focus on staying together through this adversity?
Yeah, so although it is showing up in the win-loss column as a loss, we're just taking it as a lesson learned, and you know, we're carrying it with us into the next weeks prior that we can't make these mistakes if we want to win these games and all that. So you try not to in your head make it seem like you're losing. You just try to make it seem like it's a lesson learned, and you're carrying stuff with you into the next week so you don't make those same mistakes. So obviously, when you look at our record, we're 4-4, and it's disappointing to say the least, and we're all frustrated. But once you step on that field, once you step the field against another opponent, no one cares about a record at all. They don't care about the score from the last week's game. They don't care about injuries, none of that. They care about winning that game. And I think that's just like the mindset that Coach has been trying to preach to us, and also what I've been trying to preach to the guys. Like, no one cares at the end of the day. And we can't sit around and feel sorry for ourselves, because Notre Dame, they dang sure don't care what our record is. And they were 5-3 last year, and they whooped our tail. So, it doesn't matter what the record is. We have to just show up on Saturday and just prove that we can compete and prove that we can, play with the best teams in the country, which we can.
Part of Dabo's comments today were that his frustration comes from the personal attacks and people attacking you guys and having no idea how hard you're working or what all of it takes, and the personal side of all of it. And so I'm wondering if you can shine a light for people on what it's like, what this season is like, to have had the expectations, to have the talent that you see out there alongside you and the talent you yourself have, how frustrating this is to not be getting the results that you guys expected and worked for.
Yeah, it's super tough, because dating back to January, we worked so hard and put in so much extra time, not just on the field but in the film room, making sure that we corrected the mistakes that we needed to correct. And looking into our locker room and like on our roster, we have dudes across the board, and it's really frustrating just to see that our record is not showing that. But also I'm very optimistic about what we have, and the guys that we have, the players that we have, the young guys that we're developing, the lessons that they're learning too. So obviously it's frustrating that we're not 8-0, and we're not. I mean, anything can happen, but obviously we're 4-4, and it's frustrating to say the least. But guys are learning, and it's going to be a lot of stuff for the guys to carry with them next year. Hopefully a lot of momentum going into next year. But we're building a lot of experience, and these young guys are growing up super fast. So it's tough to say the least. But I'm very optimistic going to the future, just knowing who we have and what we can do.
Is this you 7-7 since last year's game? Is this kind of where you guys can flip that script now? Maybe is that opportunity?
I think it is for sure. There's a lot of speculation going around that we're this, we're that, but if we go out and handle our business Saturday, we can definitely flip the script and flip the narrative about Clemson football. So we're focused on today's practice, which is a Tuesday practice, and just getting 1% better every single day. Hopefully if we do that, we should go out on Saturday and dominate and just show the world what we're about, and that Clemson football is still here, and it's just a little I don't even want to say a down year, but just a year full of lessons that are being learned.
They're back. Number 7 had a big game against you last year. Big run early in the game, kind of set the tone. Catches a lot of balls out of the backfield. How excited are you about being able to go up against him?
Yeah, 7's a great player, great running back, and any chance you get to compete, especially with a high caliber player like he is, you can't back down from that opportunity. So I'm looking forward to it, just showing how we match up as a defense, and me personally as a linebacker going against a running back like that. So I'm super excited just for the competition, and just show that us as a defense, and that we can compete with the best of them. So it should be a great challenge for us.
For you about chunk plays. So Concepcion had a 51-yard rush and a 72-yard catch on the slant. It was actually 61% of their total yardage. Rest of the plays, 79 total yards on 44 plays, under 2 yards a play. How crucial is it against an opponent like Notre Dame with 7, like you said, superstar running back, to cut out those chunk plays?
Yeah, chunk plays are huge. You definitely, if you want to make them want to nickel and dime up the field, you want to stop them. But if they're gonna get those plays, you want to make them nickel and dime, and not just get them all in one play like NC State did. So that's definitely going to be a point of emphasis, or it has been a point of emphasis this week in practice so far. Just watching them on tape, just don't let them get those explosive plays, because those are huge with momentum too. So we're definitely going to have to limit that if we're going win this game and win the momentum side. But 7-7, they also have other playmakers too who can take you up top and break off big runs. So we're gonna have to be on our P's and Q's and just play physical and get downhill and stop those big plays from happening.
Do you feel like the run defense is rounding into form? I mean, less than a yard per carry on all runs outside of the Concepcion run, as I mentioned, 2.5 yards per carry in total. Felt like the run defense was very solid against NC State.
Yeah, I'll say it was pretty good. It's definitely not where it should be by any means at all. Just I'm holding us to the highest standard possible, and I know what we're capable of. So I know that we have so much more left in the tank that we can still, that we're leaving a lot of plays out there on the field. So there's definitely more that we can show and more that we can do as a defense, but that 2.5 yards per carry, that should be much lower. So definitely never satisfied with that and just looking to, lower that even more this week.
Sam Hartman had a big game against y'all up to Wake Forest last year. Louisville's kind of had his number the last 2 times they played him. What do you think Louisville's defense has done so well to have so much success against him?
Yeah, I think the big thing is just making him uncomfortable. Like when you have a quarterback like that, the last thing you want to do is make sure that he's just feeling good in the pocket and making those easy throws, and because those easy throws will make those will lead up to big plays happening. So we just got to make him super uncomfortable. Make sure that he feels pressure, and we want to make him scramble and make him get out of his comfort zone. So that's just going to be like a big thing for us to make sure that he doesn't get comfortable, because when he's comfortable, that's when he can really hurt you.
What are the main differences on tape that you see with Hartman in the mesh point system at Wake versus what he's been doing, more of a traditional style offense this year at Notre Dame?
Yeah, I mean, I think besides the mesh, I think it has a lot of similarities. With their pass game, they do a lot of similar stuff. Obviously, Notre Dame, they don't have the slow mesh option in their playbook. I don't know if they could throw it in this week, but just they do a lot of similar stuff. So, like I said, we just can't let them get comfortable. Eliminate the run game, and when they do pass the ball, just be sticky in coverage, zone, man coverage, whatever that may be. So, as long as we're gonna have a great game plan, and whatever coach calls, we got to line up and play that to the best of our ability, and we should be fine.
Barrett, Ruth told us after the game on Saturday that he'd be lying to you guys if he said he called y'all family and then he didn't go out and fight on every single snap to the most of his ability. Is that kind of what you guys feel at this point of the season? That's what you're playing for this final month of the season, for each other, to fight for your brothers and to fight for your family on every play? Yeah,
I think we've been doing that from the start too. Especially after getting our 4th loss, that really opened everyone's eyes. But we've been doing that since the jump. We've loved ever since we've all got on campus. We've all just embraced each other and shown each other love and all of that. So that's always been our mindset, since day one. But especially in a tough time like this, it's made us come together even more. Just because you're gonna have some guys who are, they're going to be a little negative just because of what's going on. We're 4-4, and so there's been a little bit of negativity. But us as leaders, we've stepped up and made sure that we've tuned all that out, and brought those young guys who maybe haven't experienced this many losses in their life, just make sure that they stay with us and stay positive through it all, because it's all going to just be a lesson learned at the end of the day. So but that's been the mindset since day one, just preaching family mentality.
So when people say, in a place like Clemson where you're expecting to compete for a championship every year at 4-4, what is there left to play for in the final month of the season? What do you guys say is left to play for in this final month of the year?
Each other. Me as a leader, I'd be doing myself, this team, this university a disservice if I were to check out like that, or just give up. I would never do that. And I love this school, I love this team, I love the coaches, I love everything about Clemson, and I have no choice but to lay my body on the line, everything on the line every single day for this university. That's what I'm going to continue to do until the day that I leave here. But I think that's been the mindset from all the leaders. We love Clemson, and we're going to empty the tank every single day and just give all we have.
Have you talked to Coach Swinney at all about potentially busting out the all-orange uniforms?
I actually had no idea it was an orange out, but now that I know that, I may ask him about that, just to hear his thoughts on it. But that would be pretty sweet to pop out in the all-orange, so I may ask him about that.
It's a new kickoff, and a lot of places that can be kind of a sleepy environment with the fans, but I guess after the Florida State game, that's really not a concern for you guys.
I prefer a noon kickoff. You know, those late games, the environment, it's you can't beat it. But the noon kickoff, you wake up, you get you a little meal in, you're playing already. So I know our fans are gonna bring it regardless of what time it is. So, but I'm excited just to wake up and not have to be able to wait around and just go play.
You are a PAW Journey Ambassador, and this is PAW Journey Week. What does it mean to you to be an ambassador?
It's a complete honor. I remember when I came on my visit here, and PAW Journey actually had like a separate piece of the visit, like they carved out for PAW Journey, and no school had ever done that. And you know, after that, I really knew that Clemson was the one, just because they set time for that, and they really showed that Clemson is just more than being a great football player. So, you know, being an ambassador, it's an honor, and I don't take that lightly at all. And I encourage my young guys to, when they're ready for it, to apply to be an ambassador, because you're gonna grow so much. You're gonna hear from so many great voices and, you know, great people who have a lot of experience of what they do. So, you know, being ambassadors, it's an honor.
This is a somewhat random question, but you were a 5-star recruit as a defensive guy. Tristan Leigh was a 5-star in your class on the offensive side. What is it like being a 5-star? Is there pressure that comes with it? How do you feel like Tristan dealt with that, considering he had such a slower build to where he is today?
Yeah, I feel like there's no pressure, because it doesn't matter when you step into college. It doesn't matter if you're a 1-star, 5-star, unranked, whatever. All that stuff just goes out the door. And that was my mindset coming in, just prove that. I mean, I knew that I was a 5-star, but I just wanted to earn the respect of my teammates, really. I didn't care that I was a 5-star. No one else cared that I was a 5-star, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. So, and with Tristan, I could speak the world about Tristan. Just so much humility, so much self-awareness that he had. Just he came in and he knew that he wasn't, you know, in a position to play yet, just from a physical standpoint. And you know, he went to work every single day. And Coach Swinney says, like, he was in the crock pot and he was just cooking. And now that he has his time to play, like, he's taking that and running with it. So Tristan, I'm just super proud of him, and just how he carries himself every day, how he attacks everything that he does in life. And you know, he came in, he knew he wasn't ready to play, and he just went to work, and he learned from the older guys. And you know, now that he's in that position, he's been doing very good. So super proud of Tristan.
How different is he? I think I heard a story that there was even a defensive player who was getting punished for like runs, and Tristan would run with that guy,
Yeah.
even though he didn't need to. Like,
Yeah.
how different is he?
I've seen Tristan grow so much, and Tristan, he's an PAW Journey Ambassador, so he's growing in that way too. But I've just seen just so much confidence just instilled in him now from the first day that I've seen him until now. It's a completely different guy, you know. Same humble Tristan, quiet, but we'll talk a little bit on the field. But now that he's got that confidence inside of him, and you know, he's really showing that he was a 5-star, and I'm glad to see that. But you know, he's just grown so much from the first day that I've met him.
Barrett, just to kind of piggyback on John's random question topic with the 5-star thing from high school. A lot of people don't know you played quarterback senior year. Has there ever been any discussion? Does the staff know your talents? Has there been a Wildcat package proposed by you?
Yeah, I hint some jokes at Coach Riley to let me get a snap on the goal line. I mean, like, they're not jokes. I'm being serious. I would love to score a touchdown on offense, but you know, I've definitely hinted that to Coach Riley and Coach Swinney. Just hopefully that time will come, maybe. But I know we have the guys on offense who can get the job done. But you know, I wouldn't be mad if they threw me in there at the 1-yard line and told me to punch it in. But you know, you know, we have the guys on offense already, so I'm just let them do it. But if they gave me the opportunity, I would run with it.
Any questions for Barrett from Zoom? Anybody else in the room?
You have a Halloween costume you're gonna wear?
My helmet, my shoulder pads, my pants, my cleats. You know, it's a Tanoga Tuesday. Halloween for the rest of the world, Tanoga Tuesday for Clemson football.
Okay, how about your favorite candy at least?
I don't eat candy. I gave it up like freshman year of high school. I couldn't tell you why. I gave up candy and Welch's fruit snacks. And so yeah, I think so. So I gave it up, but yeah, I'm more of I like tortilla chips. That's like my snack. That's kind of random, but yeah.
All right. Thank you, Barrett.
Thank y'all.